This video is for you if you want to learn how to play shaker in a Cariocan bateria, a Rio style bateria. We're going to start just by getting familiar with the shakers and how to hold them, and later videos will be more advanced things. So the shaker is often overlooked in the bateria. People come and they want to play some drums, they feel like they want to whack something with a stick, but shaker is a lot of fun to play and it's absolutely vital to the brightness and the energy of the whole sound of the band. It's often overlooked in terms of what you can do with it as well. So maybe later in this video series we can do some more advanced things with the shaker. But to start with, what are they? You'll find different types of shaker in a bateria. This is called a ganza, G-A-N-Z-A. It's just a hollow tube with beads in. Sometimes they're metal beads, sometimes they're plastic. Makes this sort of swishy sound. So you might find these in a Cariocan blocco, not so much in a samba school. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this, but most of what we're going to look at will be pretty much the same if you are playing one of these. The technique will be slightly different. You might find a shaker like this, which is kind of an old school carnival shaker. You might call it a chocalho de pratinela, chocalho with little metal plates. As you can see, it's kind of got two little handles on the outside and normally 3 rows or so in the middle. It sounds like that. If you're playing one of these, the best way is to put your fingers, maybe just the first 2 fingers, on that side of the handle, maybe more if you, whatever's comfortable for you, and your thumb on the back, and you're going to hold it just about chest height, just in front of you like that. And we'll talk more about what we can do with it, but just in terms of holding it somewhere there is good. Nowadays though, these have been replaced in pretty much all of the samba schools by this kind of shaker. You might see this called chocalho de madeira, wooden shaker. This is just a plank of wood in the middle. You might see it called a rocar, R-O-C-A-R, but it's still a chocalho. We can call it a shaker. Still does the same job. This is the one that I'm going to be spending most time talking about. So to hold the rocar, to hold the shaker, again, just like the other one, thumbs on the back and fingers on the front. Now there's some people would hold it like this, more like the other one that I just showed you there. Some people would hold it more like this, with your first finger kind of wrapped over the top like that, and your thumbs in line. That's all good. Either way, it's just a case of you getting comfortable more than anything. 1 finger, 2 fingers, this way, that way, that's all okay. But what we're not doing is gripping it like this, and we're not holding it too close to our body. We're holding it actually maybe further away than you'd expect, and not as high as you'd expect most of the time. So just kind of where your elbows fall down by your side. You don't have to lift your elbows up too much. Just here, but then just push them out a little bit further than you would. That gives you a bit more freedom to move rather than being here or here is too tiring, right? So that's kind of how we hold it. You can get a feel for that as we go on. Thumb on the back, fingers just round the front like that, just in front of you here. The first thing to get used to is just the idea that we kind of have to preempt the sound. If we want our first sound to be here, with the jingles hitting the front, then we need to obviously throw just before that. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of starting that throw a bit before. So it does have to have that flow to be able to get that clunk exactly on the beat where you want it. If you start moving on the beat, obviously you're going to be a bit behind. It's going to be just a little after, right? So just getting used to that feel, feeling a pulse, and same backwards. Just try that. So the movements that I'm making are not massive. They're not like that. Just enough to get a good connection. I'm using a little bit of finger, a little bit of wrist, and a little bit of elbow. But not much elbow. Throw it forward, it's resting on the fingers. Throw it back, comes to rest on the thumb. But you're pretty much in contact with it the whole time. That's just where the pressure is. And most importantly, you can see that it's staying pretty much flat. I'm not doing this. Definitely not that, yeah? And as I mentioned, you might want to start getting used to playing with a beat. Let me just put a little metronome on here. Doesn't really matter how fast or slow it is at this stage. That's 90 beats per minute. And you could start just going 1, 2. Feeling that pulse. Just getting used to matching. Preempting. Connect on the click. Try and get a nice single clunk, not like a slide like that. Not jingliness, we just want a nice clunk and stop. And just absorb the motion of that in the impact in your fingers and thumb. And then see how small a movement you can get away with to do the same thing. If you go too small, you wind up with this jingly sound, and it's harder to get accurate. If you go too big, then that's nice, but you get tired pretty quick. So just getting it nice and efficient. That's all we're getting used to start with. You could maybe try twice as fast as that. So that's every beat now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And normally we want the first one to be forward, the second one to be backwards. That's just the way most people find it strongest. 2, 3, 4. A little bit of finger, a little bit of wrist, a little bit of elbow. That's the first thing, just get comfortable with that. In the next video we'll start to apply that to some grooves.